Just before we get into the deck, I want to give a huge thanks to Eva and Foxy and Ivy and everyone else over in the Booty Discord for getting me really prepared for the format and helping me out with my deck building and everything, and Eva mainly. Big thanks to Eva and the rest of the Memento chefs, because I would not have achieved this deck list and learned all these combos without them. I absolutely shamelessly take all these ideas from Eva mainly and her spreadsheet, so definitely go check out her PowerPoint with all like the combo guides and everything in that. Alright, well, it seems I have a YCS top. And this is a really big achievement for me. Really big and really huge. I got my first regional top this year, and this is my first YCS top. So, I was the one Memento player in the top 32, and as you may have noticed from the title, no Fiendsmith in here and no Thrust in here. So we were kind of running on fumes, but it did work out. This ended up running for like 13 hours really, like 14 to get like the actual top cut confirmation. But yeah, it was a long event. I was up till 6 AM, but it worked. And even though we got knocked out in 32, I'm pretty happy with this. I'm pretty happy with how far I got, considering that I feel like my list was not ideal. But I'll go over it because why shouldn't I, right? Okay, so simple enough. I'll go through the lines and stuff. I'll go through like the basic combo line and a couple of other details that I figured out over the event after I've been through the actual numbers. So we'll start with the core Memento stuff, as you might expect a lot of these numbers. We're playing 3 Witch, 3 Darkblade, and 3 Horse. Now, I'm still iffy on 3 Darkblade. It's one of those cards that, like, this deck does have a lot of normal summons, and it feels like sometimes you see too many, and that can happen a lot, but I think statistically, it's just that I'm seeing those outliers. I do sometimes side out, and I'll get to that in the siding, I suppose. I compensate for this a bit in going second, but yeah, generally you're going to see one of your normal summons, and fairly often you're going to see 2 of them. At least Blade can pitch another Blade, or you can use the additional as material, or for Bone Party or something, so they're not dead in hand necessarily, but it's not ideal, and I'm still not sure if I want to play 3 and 3 of both of these, but the Horse is obviously just always play 3. Playing all the 1-ofs, let's go through them. 1 Mace, 1 Gaddock. Worst possible card to open. If you open this, your combo is going to be significantly worse just trying to get this into rotation, just trying to get this out of the hand. It can be really annoying. But I did manage to do some comboing with it in the opening hand, but it is really difficult sometimes depending on what you get interacted with. The Sleepy Huron, this card is absolutely crazy. Every time I resolve it, it feels better and better. It's so good for OTKs and so good for chain blocking. Constantly bringing stuff back, it's constantly recycling stuff, getting things back that's been removed. Really strong card. We have the Horn Dragon, the Combined Creation, of course, and there's one card that's not been shown you here in the main deck, and that is we're playing 2 Goblin. And the reason we're playing 2 Goblin is fairly apparent to those that have been following recent developments, but to those that haven't, we now play 3 copies of Goblin Biker Grand Breakout. Basically, this is just functioning as additional copies. Basically, this is just functioning as additional copies of ways to play through interaction, or I've noticed a lot, this helps you play through hands where you open pretty much nothing but hand traps. A couple times I normal summoned Ash to tribute offer this and a couple of other things. It helps you. It's the only extender that does something with cards in your hand that aren't Memento monsters, so it is really helpful for that. Helps you dodge impermanent stuff without necessarily forcing you into popping stuff. It can be a problem. This is not good on specifically Tatsu. If you get impermanent on Tatsu, you don't want to chain this because you're not going to be able to send anything with popping the Goblin. You just want to do it on Res and then just Goblin effect for you know, some other stuff for your combo line. But this card felt really strong, really good. I will continue to be playing this ratio for quite some time. And as for the rest of the spells and traps, it was 3 fusion, 3 Bone Party, I think you just want to open as many copies as possible if you're on Pure. You just need that consistency and need that way to play through interaction, especially with Dominus being so prevalent. Yeah, this is really, really crucial card. I would not reduce the copies of these. Then the 1 clan, of course, just for getting mandatory combo and stuff. Playing a 1-for-1, another way to just extend through interaction and things that is not getting you into specifically things like Blade. The 1 Rhoda and the 1 Prosp, yeah, just standard consistency stuff. Generally, I would side these out when I'm siding for going second, and I would also side out 3 Grand Entrant, 3 Grand Breakout, and the 1 Goblin to keep 1 Goblin in. You really just need minimum engine going second. You need more chance of opening your non-engine. So yeah, I just cut out. Generally, my siding pan was cut out these 6, and then I will show what I was putting in usually for going second after that. As for the non-engine in the main, there is the problem that there really isn't that much space. We've got a lot of extenders and stuff to play through interaction, and generally I think Memento is really good at playing through boards like that, but you do need a bit of non-engine, and it is a bit narrow, but I did play a pretty decent spread, I think. Ash, just pretty mandatory right now. I last minute decided to put in Trolls, and it was really, really good. I will probably continue to play at this format for now. Just felt really, really strong, really, really good card. Never really felt bad, just good into pretty much everything, except like a couple of matchups where I just didn't really see it, but like into the best decks, I think it's just really, really good to be maining. And of course, there's like the minor attraction with Fuelos and stuff, but I don't think that really matters that much. 3 Imperm, and then the 1 Corpy, and technically I do play the 1 Fuelos in here that I pulled from Judge Box. I have actually already sold this copy, so it will not be appearing in any future decklist I play for the foreseeable future, except maybe at Anaheim if I borrow a playset. But yeah, this was just in here because I have it. I didn't see it at all the entire event going second. The couple times I saw it, I was going first into Labyrinth, and then I held it and I just went I had to normal it and tributed it with the Goblin spell. But yeah, I've not activated the effect of Fuelos, I believe, in the entire event. So take that as something that maybe you don't need to resolve Fuelos to win an event. Or well, top one at least. And you'll notice, yeah, there's no thrusts in the main, as also mentioned in the title, if you didn't read it already. Yeah, I just couldn't get them in time. I was considering it, but it would have cost me a lot of money going to locals, back from locals, buying them on the day. So I don't have thrusts. I do wish I did. I would be playing Threatening Roar for Tempai in the side because I think that's the worst matchup, and I think Thrust gets us into a lot of great stuff. My side deck would be completely different. I had Thrusts, but I think this worked fine for not having them. But I mean, you should probably pick them up, absolutely, especially if you're playing Pure, you really need them. So let's go through the extra deck. And a lot of this is not going to make sense if you've not been following the combo information for this deck, but I'll try and demonstrate why all these choices are important when we get into it. So first off, you have the Memento Boys, 2 King and 1 Twin Dragon. I don't think I need any more than these. These felt like really good numbers. Yeah, just standard. Often when you get interacted with, this might be something that you end on or have engrave rather than doing a full convolute combo for. This just is so easy to go into, so easy to like set up and bring back any opponent's turn, things like that. Just really, really crazy card. One of the best cards in the deck. Just, yeah. I don't know what to say about those. So I will set aside actually the engine here, which is we play a Nightmare Griffin with a Selene, a Yama, a Fiendsmith sequence, a Artemis, and a Baphomet. Now, these aren't going to make sense until I show the combo line. Selene does have the advantage of being used for access code. We have Anguish, and we also are playing Dark to very easily, especially into stuff like Snake Eye and decks like that, very easily climb into an access code, which we do before committing to a play like Creation. But also what is good to do is you summon your access code, and then you can summon Creation this is usually when going second. You access code to force like floating effects or whatever. You get a creation effect, bring back king, and then that is 8k damage just from the direct attacks from the effect of Akihiron. And your access code doesn't actually need to attack for that. So that can be really useful, but I think that's just the space and the extra for this, and I think it's really good. You're already playing this lean for this combo line, which I'll demonstrate. But yeah, you got the access code and dark in there as well. And obviously we're playing SP. This is needed for the combo, but it's also just a crazy card. Cross Sheep. I did not make Cross Sheep all day. I just didn't learn the combos in time. I put it in very last minute. Thought it might come up. I just never saw the opportunity to use it. Chaos Angel, very easy to make. Got the 7s and 3s in Witch and Twin, and the 8s and 2s in Horned Dragon and Gaddock, which generally gonna hit the board at some point. Really good for removal in that case. And we have a Guardian Chimera for fusion to make. I made this once in the whole event, and honestly I wouldn't have needed to if I played that game better. So maybe this could be cut. I know a lot of people are cutting this. It just... The situations where you're going into this are just less common now. It's a lot easier to get into another king or something when you're already standing. And I feel like if you make the full end board, which is when you would usually have a fusion set for the opponent's turn, you already have so much interaction that it's very unlikely you get to the point where you need to flip that fusion. It is nice to be able to go Mace, take control of opponent's monster, and then Chimera fuse off that monster, but like, it just doesn't come up that much with this build. You don't have many names in hand usually, unless you've gone completely uninterrupted, I guess. Alright, so let's go to the side real quick. So, I'm not particularly happy with this. I think it's fine, I think it's serviceable, but I think it could have been a lot better. And we'll start off with the card that I do think was really crucial, which was Duels. So Duels is, you may think, no real synergy with this deck, right? No way they're really doing it. We're not playing any simple spoils cards, but we are going to be reviving this with the graveyard effect of Baphomet, which you can banish during your opponent's turn to special a banish illusion. The idea being, essentially, that during the combo, we go into a Baphomet, and then we link that Baphomet into SP, and in Games 1, you would be banishing a Creation King from grave, because it is an illusion, so that can be revived with Baphomet. But in Games 2 or 3, you would be banishing a Duel after sending it with Baphomet, and then in your opponent's draw phase, you summon the Duel. This is mainly in here for Tempai. It's really, really good into Tempai to force them to set stuff like their board breakers, trades 1/1 for a board breaker, they can't activate Kaiman, things like that. And yeah, really, really good for that. And it's pretty good into stuff like Snake Eye as well. And a few other decks like Labyrinth. Yeah, just really, really good strong card for putting in going first. I didn't have a lot of time to pick stuff up, and of course didn't have T-Roars and Thrusts, so I was just playing Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood to try and deal with Tempai, trying not to just get OTK'd. You can put up a lot of bodies very quickly just to survive in that matchup, so I thought that would be useful. And I sided in a couple of the situations just for time. Just, if I was putting this in for Tempai, I felt like I'd rather play it than like the one-time card that you would play for like combo, like which would be Red Resonator for the same combo with Theobald, or Flame Crime. I don't own a Red Resonator, so it would have been Flame Crime, but I did cut it today, and it didn't really come up. I didn't really need it. I never went to time in a way that was in someone's main or anything. Every time that a game ended in time, life had been dealt back and forth. It'd been a couple turns. So yeah, this was just mainly of Tempai. I only played against Tempai round 1. I did side this in, and it did stop me from dying. But ultimately that match was a tie, so it didn't really save me the match, but it did keep me from losing, I guess. Playing for, mainly for going second here, I put in, and these are the ones I'm iffy on, was 3 Droplet, 3 Talents, but I was also, I basically be siding these in just for any point after siding. Once I know if I'm going first or second, I would put in the Talents. I go and put in Droplets going second until other things, particularly Ubel. This is really good against. I'm fine with it against like Snake Eye. I don't think it's great into a bunch of other things. I'd probably play something else here. Talents was fine. I didn't see it very much, and it wasn't very live very much. But it was just something to put in for going first, you know, taking out those 6 cards. Usually if I'm going second, it'd be, you know, take out the Rhoda, the 1/1, the 3 Goblin spells, and 1 copy Goblin, and put these 6 in. I think that was serviceable, it was fine, but probably play something else until it talents. The problem that I'm having with talents is that most of the interactions that you don't want to see and that you're scared of at the end of your turn are not monsters in the main phase. It's going to be Bulos, Purulia, Impulse, Imperm, Ash. The only one that you're going to be seeing there's a monster effect in the main phase is Ash. And like, yeah, this is just not going to be hitting those important things. It was just the only option I had. So I'd recommend playing something else. Probably Thrust if you have it, but yeah. And then 3D barrier or Silver Tempai. Again, broken record. Would be a lot better if I had Thrust, but I didn't. Again, only played against Tempai once, didn't see it when I sided it, but I feel like you have to be playing this. I would probably side this in against Centurion as well, and I did play against 2 Centurion players, but I 2-0'd both of them, so I never sided for going first. Any of the matchups where I would have put this in either was the one Tempai match in which I tied and didn't see it, or was just matches where I didn't get the opportunity to side in. But I think this is necessary to play right now in the Tempai format. And then finally, we're playing them with 2 Memento traps, Cranium and Fractured Ants. I sided this in every single time I went first. It's a crazy card, very easy to set up. Even if you can't combo very much, it's pretty much guaranteed interaction. It can help you survive battle, though I didn't use the Grave Effect this match. I didn't use the Grave Effect this event, but it's just so good of an end piece. It's incredibly easy to access, incredibly easy to set up, and just really helps play through a lot of stuff. Good into every deck right now. It's good into Azamina Snake Eye. It's not great into the Fire King section, but it's good into the whole Snake Eye and Azamina section. Really good into Tempai. It's really good into Centurion. It's really good into U-Bell. You got to pop Nightmare Pain. That's like your main priority with this deck, is to out Nightmare Pain. And you can chain this to stuff like Throne and a variety of other field spells in the format. There's a lot of stuff this hits. Popping is really good right now, and yeah, this is really good for that. Cranium Burst, I love this card. I think it's really cool. I really always liked it. I don't know how to feel about it right now. Maybe I was just missing something. Maybe there was points I should have sided it, or just because I had so many of those 2-0 matches, I just didn't have the opportunity to side it. But I never sided this in when I could, and it just, I don't know, I never felt like I needed it over Fracture. I just felt like Fracture was always the better option. The problem is with Cranium is that it does nothing if you don't control creation exactly. If it gets outed in any way, if you don't manage to end on it in any way, it's not doing anything. Whereas even just a normal summon that gets impermed, if you open the Fractured Ants, that's an interaction, and that did come up. I popped a skill drain against Labyrinth in game 3, and because of that, I managed to put up enough interaction of Force More Back Row that I managed to still win in time. Yeah, I think the fact that this is just so much easier to set up and so reliable, it makes it just strictly better most of the time. Maybe this will change. I think this might be a format-dependent card. It's just not that good into the decks of the format, I think. I'll show the mainline combo off of 1 normal to see why I'm playing all these cards in the extra, because that'll alleviate that information. Alright. So let's say we start with the best normal summon in the deck, in this case, Anguish. We're going to normal the Anguish. We're going to add our Tatsu. We're going to summon our Tatsu. We're going to Tatsu effect. We send a single Goblin, a single Mace, and a single Sleepy. We then go Anguish to bring back our Mace, and then we're going to Mace pop itself to add Fusion. We're going to activate that Fusion. We're going to shuffle back the Mace, the Horse, and the Anguish, since we've used all 3. Just going to put those off to the side since we're not accessing them again. We are going to, off of that, summon Creation King. Creation King effect is going to send 3. We're going to send another copy of itself. Send Gaddock, and send Akihiron. This is one of the situations where opening Gaddock is so difficult, because if you open it, you're not going to be able to do this play, because it has to be centigrade by a Momentum Monster's effect, and there's basically the only one that can do that is Sleepy. So if you open Gaddock, you're going to have to do a line where you get to Sleepy without doing this normal line, and then Sleepy is going to be summoning your second fusion. So in this combo line, Creation King is summoned by fusion, and then Sleepy summons Twin Dragon. If you open Gaddock, you're probably going to have to make Twin Dragon, pop the Gaddock with Twin Dragon, and then make Sleepy make your Creation King. And that should be pretty much the same combo line, you just gotta do it in that order. So we get to summon our Gaddock here, we get to add back the Sleepy with Gaddock, banish our Creation King, and that lets us add Miklan. We activate our Miklan, and then the cool chain link happens, which is we banish the fusion, and we change Sleepy. We're gonna summon Sleepy, destroy the King, and add Bone Party. You're going to trigger in the specific order, Chain Link 1 Sleepy Diffuse, Chain Link 2 Miklan target your king, and then you're going to Chain Block with Akihiron. Summon yourself, you get your Goblin, and then you fuse your Sleepy, and your Gaddock into the Twin Dragon. Twin Dragon effect is going to pop itself. And we go into Creation and Horned. And then Twin Dragon triggers, and we're going to bring back the Gaddock again. It needs to be the Gaddock specifically, because we need the specific setup. We're going to go Goblin, pop the Akihiron, get our additional bodies engraved. We're going to send a fusion, and then you're just going to send a name, probably, that you have, shuffled back, just to have more names engraved, which is going to be, in this case, a horse. You might send other stuff. If you are doing the full combo, you're going to have 4 of the cards in hand and stuff. You'd probably send Fracture Dance for the going second situation here. You do have to send Fusion, though, because you need the spell count in the graveyard to be correct for Selene. So after that, because Akihiron was destroyed by Goblin, it triggers, and we can add back this Fusion, in fact, that was banished. So we have that as a discard. We're going to link 2 into Yama. And then you go Bone Party, and if you already use Bone Party, you're not going to be able to do this combo quite in the same way, so you're not going to quite get to this, but you can do a couple of lines, but I'm not going to go through all of them. So you pop the Creation. Because I started with Witch, I'm going to go into Blade. If you started with Blade, you just go directly into Witch or Bone Party here, but if not, you pop Blade, summon another Witch from deck, and this just gets another Blade engraved if you didn't already go through. At this point, we're going to link 3. Into Selene effect, and we have the spell on field and 2 engrave. We're going to use her effect, summon back Witch. Link the Witch into Artemis. Because we have 3 names, we can special the Horned. Then we're going to link into Griffin. Griffin, pitch the fusion that we added back. Set anything you want. In this case, I'd like the guaranteed Bone Party. And then we can draw a card. Then we're going to link 2 into Sequence. Sequence effect. We shuffle back Gaddock and Sleepy, a Beast and a Fiend. Summon Baphomet. Baphomet effect is going to send that Sleepy back to the graveyard. Now in Death Deciding, this would be where you would send that Diabelt to the grave. Or where if you're playing something like a Red Resonator for time, you would send that. Then we link again into the SP, going game 1, you would then banish King from grave. The reason we have to do this is because the other King was not properly summoned that was sent by the first King, so you have to banish the second one so that it's a legal target for Baphomet. But yeah, if this is after siding, you would banish the Diablos from grave, and your King can just be revived by your Creation because it can summon any Memento from grave. And then we're gonna shuffle back. So just get back 5 names. You ideally want to keep Blade in. You ideally want to keep Blade, Witch, and Akihiron in rotation because Akihiron can revive itself and give you some chain blocking. And Witch and Blade can do a variety of things based on the situation. So we put our 5 names back. Summon our Creation. And then we still have the card we drew. We still have our other 4 cards in hand. and we, in the end phase, can reset that fusion, or if you send Fracture Dance, you can reset a Fracture Dance off of the Mictlan. I'd rather this be a Fracture Dance, but game 1, it can be fusion, that's fine. So then, what are our interactions here? This looks like a fairly normal Memento end board for pre-support, and it is for the most part, but it's not really. The main advantages of this board is that we are playing through board breakers here. The main advantage here is that this is resilient. So it's the 2 back row, creation, revive anything, plus 5k, we have the SP and the Mictlan revive. We have Akiron able to revive itself and chain block stuff. We have Yama able to revive the Griffin. We have Baphomet able to summon King. So we have multiple pops off the King. If anything is popped before the King is summoned, we can summon Akiron, and then that's another monster to pop with the King and revive things. And if we get into the ideal situation, you would have something like this, where it's pretty difficult for your opponent to interact with you when you have your both of these live with Griffin in the middle. So that's the combo, pretty much. That's the end board, that's what you're trying to go for. I didn't do it that many times, but I did do it a few times, and it is pretty much unbreakable. I have not had someone break it, really. It is not guaranteed, of course. It is not something you're going to do a lot, because people are going to be using a lot of hand traps against you, but that's basically what you're going for. But generally, you're going to be cutting down, making shorter combos. But yeah, if you do find yourself able to full combo, that's what you're doing. And it's pretty much unbeatable when it results. So a couple of people were asking me for my matchups in this event, because, you know, they're relevant, I suppose. Matchups were... Ignore my terrible handwriting. I did tweet about them. I did tweet them out, so you can check out the thread, but I'll go through them here. It's my first round, I lost the die roll against Tenpai, and I tied with them 1-1. They didn't know what any of my cards did, and it took a very long time just playing out the game 1 to get them to actually keep reading all my cards and asking what everything does. I 2-0'd a Ubel player, where I lost the die roll round 2. I 2-0'd a Centurion Bestial player, where I lost the die roll. I feel like Centurion is the best matchup for this deck, because Centurion wants to keep putting stuff on field, and this deck excels at popping stuff. They struggle to deal with a 5k body that's very easily defended. Generally, I just didn't find it particularly a challenging matchup. It was just really, really, really efficient at dealing with Centurion stuff. And the Bestials aren't very effective against us. You can Bestial like Gaddick and stuff, but it's just not going to stop the full combo. You're still going to do everything. The best Bestials is maybe like on Mace. But yeah, it just doesn't usually they're not very good. So having those be the main sort of engine-y hand traps in that deck is not great for them. I played against Snake Eye, where I lost the die roll, then I went 1-2. I played against Centurion again, where I won the die roll and 2-0'd. Played against Snake Eye, where I 2-0'd and I won the die roll. Played against Labyrinth, where I won in time. I won the die roll and I went 2-1. The main reason is that I messed up my turn 1 combo. I made my combo board. I passed over. They set 5. In their end phase, I went to do some stuff. I should have done on end of main, flip fusion, made king, because I still had a king in extra because I opened the Mictlan. I could have gone king, pop, multiple back row. I could have gone dark play to pop another. I could have popped 3 or 4 of their back row on that end phase, but I just didn't do that, so none of it got popped because I did the line wrong. And when it got back to me, the equation cannoned me, so I lost that game 1. Because I just didn't have the recovery at that point, because they banished creation and all those other things, and because Akiron got banished, I couldn't recur anything. So that game was lost. I played longer than I should have, trying to keep playing in that. I should have conceded sooner, I think. Game 2, I managed to win. They couldn't break the board. And game 3, we just passed back and forth, not having any play. He flipped Skill Drain, and I outed it with Fracture Dance. And then he just couldn't draw any engine, couldn't draw any way to damage me, and he just died in time. Played against Rip Beast. I played a 50-minute game 1, where I lost the die roll against Rip Beast. The main reason was just, I've never played against Rip Beast. I didn't really know what the cards did, so I misplayed a few times. I popped the wrong things. I gave them advantage they shouldn't have had. I missed an easy OTK on turn 3. I played against Snake Eye Fire King around 9, which I lost the die roll, but I did win that. And yeah, in top 32, I played against Snake Eye Fire King again. And I won the coin flip. I won the die roll on that, and it was very unfortunate. I made the board in game 3. were pretty close to the board. I didn't do the whole Griffin stuff, but I had pretty much everything else in access. And I stopped Deception line, I stopped pretty much any access to the Snake Eye line. He has like nothing left. He summons a Kirin, and the Kirin is the only monster on board. I've used all my interactions, but he doesn't have anything he can do, and my Crackback, I just kill him. And he goes Wanted Affecting Grave, draws Viking Sanctuary, activate Sanctuary, and that's his Atlantis OTK. That's just everything there. So that was unfortunate. There wasn't really much I could do about that except see the future. So I'm pretty happy with overall performance. I think I played really, really well. I think the deck performed really, really well. And I'm happy to demonstrate that you don't necessarily need 3 of all the meta staples to top a YCS. You can actually get by. You don't necessarily need Fulos. If you have any questions or anything, let me know in the comments and all that. And yeah, as I say this, the top 32 is still going on as I record this. But yeah, I think they're either in top 8 or down to top 4 by now. But yeah, I will continue to be playing this. I'll probably be playing this to Anaheim with obviously some changes and probably with the thrusts. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, thanks for watching, and back to our regularly scheduled content later this week with another Commander Prog episode.